This is our first sitting of the year. We have had a special NEC at the beginning of the year to deal with issues around the January 8 statement and agree on what should be the focus of that statement, because the January 8 statement is effectively a statement of the National Executive Committee presented on all our behalf by the President. So it's nothing unusual. It's a regular National Executive Committee. And when we conclude that NEC, we will be able to come back, brief the media on key decisions that the NEC shall have reflected on. Well, the NEC always uses the start of its meeting to agree on its agenda. So we have already spoken in the past that part of the things that we will reflect on, which I know that you might be wanting to ask, would be the guidelines on the whole notion of step aside. We did say that the regular NEC will also be dealing with that. I know that you might also want to ask around issues at the Zondo Commission and the intention expressed by the former president of the ANC not to appear before the commission. It's a matter that is out there in the public, so it will not miss deliberations of the National Executive Committee. But in terms of the format of the agenda, the NEC will be able to agree on its agenda at the start of the meeting, as it has always done in all other meetings.
Is the ANC confident at all that they will be able to come up with concrete decisions, especially given from the issue of step aside? I mean, it was a resolution from the Fourth National Conference. There seems to be an issue in terms of how it's implemented. We still have the Executive Commission report that has asked for the SG to step aside. Are you confident at all that there will be concrete decisions coming out, especially pertaining to your own policies in which have come to the realization of finalization that they need to be implemented?
Well, Mbali, if we are not confident, then it means that we are not loyal to our own processes. You know, remember the process of developing the guidelines. It's a process that was agreed upon by our NEC mid-year last year, around, I think it was the NEC of either July or August that took that kind of a decision. So this is really a process point. It's an issue that the NEC has long agreed on, and the NEC had agreed that first there was that process of the officials engaging with various legal opinions on that specific matter, and there was feedback that the different lawyers who were engaged gave to the NEC. The NEC has already reflected on that, and it further agreed that the officials must then, given that, be able to then deal with the framework, come back and report to the NWC, and ultimately to the National Executive Committee. So the matter of confidence is neither here nor there, because this is really a process that we had initiated ourselves. We can't initiate processes that we're not confident on.
What is your take on some of the stance of the ANC when it comes to, you know that the SG is expected to report next week and will contain the cases this year. There has been a message from the ANC previously saying that, your members should not go in their numbers to ensure support, when your members are, or rather your leaders are going to court. We've seen a message coming out from the ANC saying that they will indeed be going to ensure their support for the issue. What do you have to say about issues like that?
Just clarify me, the message from KZN, where did it come from in KZN? Is it the province, the region, the branch?
Well, it's eThekwini, if I'm not mistaken. They've come out saying that, well,
what is it? So, for the benefit of your viewers, Mbali, is it an REC? Is it a branch? Oh, okay. No, that's fine. So that you qualify it. You know, remember when questions are asked, but when a question is asked that we have seen KZN, and I don't use this opportunity to make sure that we create clarity. There are many other viewers who depend on yourselves for the dissemination of information. So when we talk about the ANC, we should make the right reference to which structure of the ANC or which cadres or which individuals in the African National Congress are we referring to. We are not aware of a structure of the ANC that has deposited any statement out there about going or not going to the court appearances. We have issued a statement in the past as the ANC calling on our members and requesting them that where they go out to show support in court or any other place where a leader or leaders of the ANC may be appearing, they should do so in a dignified manner. They should not be seen or doing things that would otherwise be perceived to be undermining the decorum of the African National Congress. We had gone ourselves previously when the SG was appearing in court, and we had we were seen outside courts in your various platforms calling our members to order, especially those that were saying statements that might otherwise be perceived to be going against the unity of the African National Congress. We will again be making the same plea that we've made in the past. The expectation, because the Secretary-General of the ANC is the Secretary-General of the African National Congress. He can't divorce himself from that position. That's why when we are there, we have got a role to play to make sure that we encourage our members that it is not wrong to show or display support for the SG, but do it in a dignified manner. The SG himself is on record and calling those that were trying to hail insults or burning T-shirts bearing the face of the sitting president of the ANC, President Ramaphosa, to order. Because such things can be done in the name of the Secretary-General. The Secretary-General of the ANC, Comrade Ace Magashule, and the President of the ANC, President Ramaphosa, work together well. So it shouldn't be us who are sponsoring divisions amongst these officials. Our actions should serve to propel the unity of the ANC forward.
Mr. Mabe, can you tell us if maybe the top 6 or the officials of the ANC will be meeting with the former President Jacob Zuma? I know when speaking to my colleague Alexander, who spoke to the Presidential Secretary of the ANC and he was saying that the ANC within the province is seeking intervention from national leadership. He also says that Zuma's arrest will cause divisions within the party, and when they were speaking to Zuma, he had expressed that his rights were violated. So is this something that the top 6 is actually looking forward to, well, not looking forward to, but actually will meet Zuma in the next coming week? Because last week, President Ramaphosa had said that Zuma needs to be given time and space.
Well, Natasha, thanks for the question. There is a standing resolution of the National Executive Committee that officials must engage with former President Jacob Zuma. So that decision is there. It really depends on their diaries, and if there are issues, including those that are out in the public, that officials may want discussed or seek some resolve on, they will effectively do that well within that space. But there is a decision of the NEC that officials must engage with former President Jacob Zuma. Well, it's really a matter of diaries, but that decision exists, so it's not even a scoop. It's no. Yes, I agree with you. No, I agree. I'm sorry, you didn't say it's a scoop. It's my words. I'm saying it's not a scoop or an issue that would be flown around by those that want to speak on our behalf unauthorized. We can put it on record that there is a decision of the NEC that the officials have got to engage with the former president.
Okay, and just 2 more questions. On the issue of AstraZeneca, I know that you've previously said that at least government is being transparent about this whole issue, but is this an issue that is likely to come up tomorrow? Because there's a few roaries saying that how could government procure vaccines that aren't effective? Secondly, the last time I think there was an announcement that a committee would be established to vet all candidates in terms of local government elections. Can you give us perhaps timelines as to when that committee is going to be established? Because the local government elections are around the corner. I know that the EFF had said that they're reaching out to all political parties, including the ANC, to
propose that elections must be merged. I know this is something that the ANC was actually open to even from last year, but yeah, can you just talk to us about that?
Well, Natasha, just on the issue of vaccination, you will accept that a self-respecting organization like ours can't sit in this way and not discuss the issue of vaccine and how it steers the way forward, or government is steering the way forward in terms of fighting the coronavirus pandemic. When we went to January 8 this year, we laid out 4 priorities. And one of those priorities was fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. The second one was economic recovery. The third one was local government, which also had to do with the renewal of our organization. Actually, there were 5, because we also dealt with unity and renewal. And the other one was building a better Africa and a better world. So we are not going to move away from the things that we have laid out to be our core focus areas. So the question you are asking fall within the first priority area of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. So we've got to understand the various measures that are being undertaken by our government through the National Coronavirus Command Council, the rollout of vaccination, how they are prioritizing and moving with that. The President has been able to give some detail in his capacity as the head of state when he delivered the State of the Nation's address. Obviously, we have got a standing item on our agenda that has got to, we need to be getting update of those of our cadres that are deployed in health. And fortunate enough, both Minister Zweli Mkhize and Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma are part of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress. They will be able to give us update and feedback on the work that they are doing. Whether it has got to do with AstraZeneca, how, because we also need to be understanding, at least the appreciation, and we must commend South Africans that there is a greater appreciation that when the virus mutates, it could be that you need to also look at your vaccination strategy more differently as well, to say, how do you deal with a mutating virus like the one we have now? We have got a South African variant. How are we dealing with that variant? Are we making sure that the vaccines that we are procuring, the different manufacturers that we are talking to, would be able to assist us to deal with this kind of a condition? If there is one issue that requires the unity of our people across political spectrum, is fighting this COVID-19 pandemic. Because people who are succumbing to this pandemic could be your neighbors, regardless of their political orientation. It doesn't matter where they really belong, what is their political orientation, but when our neighbors are in pain, we tend to go and convey our own condolences. We issue statements about leaders of various political and cultural formations when they pass on. I don't know of any organization that has issued many statements conveying condolences like the ANC, of people that have been succumbing to COVID-19, of distinguished South Africans that would have passed on in that way. We too have actually been hardest hit. We have lost a lot of leaders, just to single one province, in KwaZulu-Natal. Former MECs, spokespersons of the African National Congress, mayors, speakers, MECs. Here in the National Executive Committee, we have lost a member who was also a Minister of State as well. So we are quite focused. We understand, we share in the pain of the rest of South Africa's people. We know, because we too have lost people that are also found well within our own ranks. And we believe that efforts and measures that are being undertaken by government, we might not know which one is the best solution, because it is for the first time that this government is having to deal with a pandemic of unknown proportions like this one. Actually, the estimation is that the last time we dealt with a problem such as this was over 100 years ago, in 1918 with swine flu. So we're dealing with something different. So it's lessons learned. each and every measure that the government is taking is really a lesson learned, including critics out there, armchair critics out there. None of them can say this is the best solution that will solve the problem tomorrow. We must appreciate efforts that are being undertaken by government to make sure that they could, one, be able to procure and source the best possible vaccines, and make sure that we could be able to achieve herd immunity much faster, what the president refers to as population immunity. If we can vaccinate more people in our own settings, we will be able to achieve herd immunity. And that is what we want. I mean, we should be joining hands and cooperating with each other to be able to achieve that with a greater speed. As it relates to electoral reforms, preparation for local government elections, we're expecting to receive a report from our own elections subcommittee. Comrade Mbax and his team have been hard at work. They will be able to give the NEC feedback on what needs to be happening there. And we will be able to then communicate after the NEC. Okay. No, thanks. How is work in Bali?
Work is great.
Okay.
Yeah, no, work is great.
No, that's fine. I'm going to be doing door-to-doors in newsrooms
Oh, that's nice.
for promotions, because I want to check if you guys are due for promotions, so that you could be promoted.
Yeah, no, we must tell them.
Natasha, I will be doing door-to-doors just to make sure that we talk HR. Natasha, I'm saying I'm surprised that it has to take Mbali from a pure 100% pay TV channel to talk for someone who can go Mbali. And in a confidence go public broadcast. Were you guys classmates?
No.
Who came first? When did Natasha go? When are we in?
2008.
Yo.
Wait, did you go to TV?
Yes.
Oh, yes. No, you did. But we went to. That's why you're such a. We were there in the trenches of the.
When I was a Pretoria Tech, yeah, but I also did my B.Tech in Soshanguve.
Yeah.
With some girl.
Yeah,
And Amos, yes. Why are you calling him Amos?
oh my gosh. I was kind of
But it's okay. There's nothing bad that was said. But there's nothing wrong that was said. Why are you worried? No, but the people of South Africa must see that we do tend to talk about your promotions and salaries.
All right, we're going to come out.